Palantir is pulled out of the debate. Let's talk about it. Now, before I start off, I just want to say I would never pull out of a debate because I am pro-life with debates. So I would never pull out because I'm pro-life of debates. A life that has debates means that I would never pull out of debate because I'm pro-life for debates. Just want to say that. Okay, so for those that don't know, yesterday Foxglove tweeted, and we'll show the tweet right here, Palantir is not competing in the debate anymore. Lewis Mosley, the head of Palantir UK, was supposed to debate Corey Kreider, the head of Foxglove UK. They made some weird joke about comparing Palantir to Boris Johnson's fridge. I'm not from the UK, so if anyone knows what the point of that joke is, please comment below. But Palantir has pulled out. Now, when I saw this news, I was a bit perplexed. I also quote tweeted the tweet, and we'll show that tweet right here. I've actually never seen the Hunger Games, but I still volunteer as tribute.
I volunteer as tribute!
I was particularly excited about this debate, along with a lot of other people in the Palantir community, because the entire concept of the debate was going to be disproving the years of basically nonsense that Foxglove has been promoting. Foxglove, for those that don't know, is promoted and funded by George Soros. They are a media company / nonprofit that gets to propagate the ideas they want to propagate because they're funded by people that have particular ideologies. I thought Palantir was going to be able to go on that stage, basically disprove everything Foxglove has ever said about them, and also be able to show that Palantir's software is being used in a productive way, especially in the NHS. This entire debate was to basically allow the court of public opinion to decide if the NHS should give Palantir this major contract. And they were going to dismantle Foxglove's claim because none of their claims are rooted in anything that is true. However, that is not the case. Palantir is deciding to pull out. Now, there's two reasons I think Palantir pulled out of this debate. The first reason is they didn't want to get into a debate that they knew they couldn't win. Now, I personally was very bullish on thinking Palantir could win this debate because I think they could dismantle a lot of Foxglove's claims. But as I think deeper about it, it kind of makes sense to not get into a debate that you have no chance of winning. What I mean by this is that if the court of public opinion has already decided that Palantir inside of the United Kingdom is an unethical, evil company that's misusing patient data, then no matter what they say on stage, they're probably not going to change that opinion. In fact, Corey Kreider, the head of Foxglove, who has already published article after article about why Palantir is bad, she would just get to reinforce her talking points. Now, Lewis Mosley, the head of Palantir UK, might be able to beat back some of her claims, but would it be enough to fully disprove these overarching theories that she has about Palantir? The answer is, unless he's a phenomenal debater and he has really good stage presence, that wouldn't happen. Because even if you talk about all the good things they've done, even if you beat back their claims with logic and evidence, even if you talk about some of the technical details for why Palantir has been so effective in the NHS, if someone is comparing you to the most evil company in the world because they're putting up an image of a president that they believe has done unethical things and they're saying you support that president, this, and that, a lot of the real nuance of the debate goes away and it becomes theatrical. And if it becomes a theater, Corey Kreider, and as we see from Foxglove's tweets, they seem to know how to put up a theater. Palantir, I do not think, is theatrical. The only person that's theatrical in Palantir is Alex Karp, and if he was doing this debate, I think he has a really solid chance of changing public opinion because he would put his foot down, he would be adamant, he would be firm, he would throw in some humor, some philosophy. It would be a reasonable chance for him to convince other people. Lewis Mosley, I don't know him. I don't think he has that same level of persona. And in general, I don't think anyone in Palantir is ready to defend the company against an evil spy claim unless you have the personality of an Alex Karp. So it ultimately makes sense to not even engage in the debate if you know you're not going to win, if you know you're really not going to change public opinion, to just not do it at the end of the day. Now, the final reason I think they pulled out of this debate, and this is a little bit of me being conspiratorial, hypothetical, but I think there might be some truth in the logic of what I'm going to say here, is maybe the NHS kind of told them they're already getting this contract and they don't need to do the debate. If I was Palantir and there's a $580 million contract on the line, I would do a debate. Because for $580 million, what's the worst that happens? You get embarrassed a little bit more, maybe the UK doesn't like you a little bit more, but at least you have a chance to fight for that contract. I mean, that's over 5 years, that's another $100 million in bottom line, in top line revenue. Like, that's important. That's something you don't want to go away. So if I was Palantir, the costs and benefits associated with doing the debate in comparison to getting a $580 million contract means, yeah, let's take a shot and let's go for it. Now, if someone from the NHS contacted them and basically said, look, guys, we know there's been a lot of press out there. We're the ones who actually decide this contract, and you're likely going to get it. It's not guaranteed, but you're likely going to get it. Why even do the debate? From two perspectives. Number one, if Palantir knows they're going to get the contract or they're likely going to get it, why even risk the public perception of having to deal with someone dunking on you and you're not being able to fight back? So just don't do it. And just, when you get the contract, let them get upset and write stupid articles, but ultimately you're gonna get the contract. Number two, maybe the NHS doesn't want Palantir to do the debate because they know that Foxglove is just gonna keep dunking on them and cause more and more bad propaganda about them on stage, in which if Palantir is not able to defend themselves, it's gonna look even worse, but they still wanna give them the contract. So if I want to give you the contract, because I know the truth as a government, I know we're paying you $91 million from our UK Ministry of Defense because you're good. I know our Prime Minister, Rishi, has mentioned your name publicly on stage. I know you've reduced backlogs by 28%. I know you've done COVID vaccine distribution for the entire country, which means I know that you deserve this contract. But you're managing the public's data. And if the public doesn't like you, and if this debate is just gonna make it worse in terms of how the public will perceive you, then let's just not do anything in public. You're still gonna get the deal, and let's hold off from actually getting into this debacle that might end up really badly. The interesting thing here is Palantir agreed to do the debate a week ago. So they said yes to the debate. Ultimately, they had to say yes or no. They said yes, which means what happened between a week and yesterday? The only thing I can imagine is Palantir either A, believes they're not getting this contract and it's not worth doing it at all, which I find hard to believe just based on the evidence. It seems likely they're gonna get this contract. Or the NHS called them and said, hey, you guys are likely gonna get the deal. There's no need to deal with all that public stuff. You don't need to go through a debate. Just hang tight and we'll see what we can do. Those are my thoughts on Palantir pulling out of this debate. It is a very interesting saga. I didn't expect them to do this massive debate in the first place, and now it's not happening, which took us for a whirlwind, but it does seem more likely than not that the reason they're not doing it is deeper than them just not wanting to do a debate. And I guess time will tell to see if they get this NHS contract. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on this debate, and I'll see you in the next one.